That's another.
There you go.
Another week of Politically Correct podcast here at the We the People Podcast Network. We appreciate you being here.
You
And
know, we
coming to
do
listen
this
to
every
us.
week. You know, you can learn how to speak into the mic.
I know at some point I'm gonna be ready with the mic. I always have the camera ready, I have the lights ready. I get everything to make me look good ready, but then not the microphone. I think it's a phobia of having this thing in my face. It's kind of weird.
Is it a faux bias?
It might be a full bias. My co-host Lavelle Lewis.
Yeah.
Dan from the Streets is taking some time with his family, so we're gonna allow that considering it's the end of August, and you really need to take full advantage of all the time that you can, especially in Rochester with only approximately 60 days of summer that we do get. But as always, we have Austin on the ones and twos.
Hello.
All right, everyone, get your drinks out. Let's toast to the ability for us to be able to have a drink with another person, have open and honest dialogue,
Cheers.
and be able to walk away still being friends. Salud.
Salud. Cheers. L'chaim. Mazel tov.
Nope.
Drink.
Nah, I'm drinking a screwdriver today.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, it doesn't make the ka-chink noise. I mean,
Austin's going to
you
be feeling it today. All right.
know, yeah, I'm feeling it already. It's fine.
This might be the appropriate day, actually, because I think I might talk more junk today than I have in quite some time. So
I'm celebrating. Student loans and all that.
Ready.
hey, holler.
Oh,
And it's not
making
mean.
it rain.
It's not mean junk. I want to make sure everyone understands it's not mean junk. I'm just going to speak the truth, and sometimes people just don't like that. And I'm going to start with something that happened this past Saturday that I kind of personally, Saturday or Sunday, that I kind of personally was not a big fan of because it reminded me of back in the day. It happened this past Sunday at the Stop the Violence spiritual revival that I helped co-host over at the Frontier Field. Let's get into the verse of the week, and then I'm going to jump into what I perceived as something that a lot of people within the Christian community, as well as those outside of it, that might have an issue with it as well. We'll see. Verse of the week is Ephesians 2:8-9. For by grace are you saved through faith, and that not of yourselves. It is the gift of God, not of works, lest any man should boast. Had a moment at the Stop the Violence spiritual revival where I did feel very uncomfortable. And I want to speak on it in a way that is not, it's not taken away from the moment, but educates Christians on the altar call. Altar call. All right. Do you know what that is? Do you know what altar call is, Austin?
That's when the priest takes the little boy in the back. He's
All
like,
right.
"Come on,
All right. It's when pastors.
Why you thought that was a good
I
idea?
don't know why
you
you
went that way.
I don't know. It's when pastors believe
Good one, Austin.
an outward act is required for your salvation, to cement your salvation, specifically by coming up to the front, usually at an altar or a pulpit, and publicly accepting the Lord into your heart. I want to state that salvation is not subjugated to a location. You don't have to do an altar call and feel as if the pastor or priest or father or whoever it is calling on you to really stand up and proclaim your belief or proclaim your acceptance of Christ's gift. In reality, this action literally contradicts the Bible doctrine of salvation by grace without works. That's literally what it says, by grace without works. Making an outward response, the same thing as receiving Christ as a condition of salvation that Jesus never appointed or anointed. Your works are simply the evidence of your salvation, not the prior condition of it. If you read your Bible, you know that there's only been one apostle that was ever sent to the Gentiles, and that was Paul. Paul is the only apostle who was sent to us to speak to us, and we need to, in my opinion, read up on that and rightly divide the word of God and really know what it means to be saved, because it does not mean that you need to prove yourself in front of a bunch of people, or that you need to go up to an altar call and feel obligated to raise your hand. Yeah, I accepted Christ into my heart. Yeah, shower me with praise. Eh, don't fall for that. Okay, you know that you know when God has chosen you, when you have accepted, when you are living within God's will. You know it. You don't need to make a public spectacle of it. So I had to get that off my chest because I was there with my wife, and I know how she feels about certain things. I know how I feel about certain things, because there's a lot of things in the church, in the physical church, that has pushed me away from really choosing one church to go to every Sunday, and or Wednesday, or whenever it is that they choose to go to church. It's been an issue for quite some time that I've gone to different churches, and they've all had something. I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like that. That's not doctrine. That's not biblical. That's not true. I don't agree with that. It's okay. A lot of people always ask me, what church do you go to? What church do you go to? And I'm like, I don't go to church. I read my Bible. I pray hard and unceasingly. I pray all the freaking time. I have a very good relationship with God, and I hope that you do too. But that's up to you and you.
Oh, thanks. Good to be included.
So
gotcha.
Joel Osteen is out the question.
I'm not. I'll listen to Joel Osteen, but I'm not following Joel Osteen.
TD Jakes,
No,
Creflo Dollar.
I don't know who that is.
You don't know who Creflo Dollar is?
No.
Oh gosh.
Creflo Dollar.
Oh, Creflo Dollar.
Did I say that a little
He's
too?
one of the most well-known Christian preachers, like nationally. Like, he actually had a private jet that he said, I'm about to get rid of because golden doorknobs.
That guy. Oh, that guy. The one.
His
I
name
know.
is
I know.
Creflo Dollar.
Yeah.
man.
What about that pastor that got robbed during church service in like
Yeah.
the Bronx or
I
Brooklyn
think
or
he
something
was
like that?
capping. He wants to fight. Who did he challenge?
He wants
DL Hughley. He wants to fight.
He wants to physically fight.
DL Hughley.
Why he felt some type of way about what DL said?
Yeah, he interviewed him, and he was like, he's trying to come at me, man. And you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to come on the show, and he's like,
That's the pride right there. That's pride speaking. That's pride.
Not
Look,
too holy.
put your pride off to the side. Trust me, I've been there, done that. Pride will, man, it'll catch up to you, and you don't want any part of that, because pride comes before the fall, and the fall hurts.
So do you think he had that collection plate going around too, like prior to that?
I think he set himself up.
Like, what is your take on the collection plate? Like,
Oh man, you're gonna get me down this path. All right,
Yeah.
cool. I'm down with it.
you started
I'm
it.
down with it.
This show.
So, all right. The church is supposed to be a group of followers who come together, right? And the church, back when Jesus was collecting donations, it was all about, okay, we need to live, and we need to keep preaching the word. And by doing that, we're going to be traveling to different areas. We need to sleep. We need to eat. They were counting on people to house them and feed them. And the donations was really to like help the most amount of people within the congregation. It was never about, I need to get there faster, so I need a plane or a chariot, or I need a new horse. It was never about, I need to make my feet feel better, so instead of sandals, I can get like camel freaking toe boots or something. And it was never about that. It was always about how can we spread the word more to the most amount of people. And that's not what churches are doing today. That's simply not what they're doing today. And it really bothers me. That's one of the first questions I ask, is to see the finances of a church. I want to see where your money is going to, because let's say, being in real estate, how much should one person's income go towards housing? 25%, roundabout. If a church's if more than 25% of the church's income is going towards their real estate, I got a problem with that. Because if you have all this real estate and you're not housing the needy, you're not feeding the needy, you're not taking on the children of the women out here who are hurting, who need to go to work but can't go to work because they have a child at home and they're looking for help, then what are you doing as a church? That's my biggest thing about churches, is that it feels as if they've kind of turned their back on their what they're supposed to be doing in the community, which is helping the most amount of people. All their money should be going back into it. And if it's going into, oh, we're going to move locations so we can house more people for congregations so that we can get more money. I'm just not about that. Just personally, personally, other people feel differently. Personally, I'm not about that.
Well, you kind of you touch on real touchy subjects because there's a lot of religious leaders out there who've built cathedrals that are the size of like malls. And one rule of thumb within real estate, right, is you don't want to buy property near a church because that church isn't paying any taxes. So,
someone's got to pay it.
Somebody's got to pay it.
Someone's got to pay it.
I am not, for a lot of reasons you just stated, as far as going to churches. I'm very skeptical of a lot of churches that out in these in our communities because of that simple fact. My family does have a church that we go to, and it's not one of those money grab churches, which I do appreciate.
Great, that's fantastic.
But I think it's gotten out of hand. Like, don't you think? Like, overall,
you remember in the Bible they talk about Pharisees and Sadducees?
No, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know too much.
Read your Bible. Pharisees and Sadducees. If you don't know the difference between the two, read your Bible. Simple as that. Just read your Bible. You will see that the Sadducees were the ones who were like the wealthy priests who were very exuberant about their position. They were more about the position, right? The Pharisees were very strict in their religion. The Pharisees were always the ones that were trying to catch Jesus or catch the apostles or catch someone in some type of, you see what he said there? That's against the law. We need to take him to jail. Those are the Pharisees. The Sadducees were like just this posh. The look of what you think of when you talk about that. What was his name? Creflo Dollar. He would be a Sadducee.
I didn't know that churches got paid off of funerals. I didn't know that, and I didn't know that until I'd experienced myself. Like, dang, we got to pay y'all, and you don't know anything about my loved one, and just to see a preacher kind of just fake it till he make it, and just give a sermon, knowing he does not know the person in the casket, but
don't know that person at all.
He fakes it till he makes it, man. You listen. You probably will. Tick some people off about.
Yeah, I know I will. I know there's some there's some pastors that actually listen to my podcast, and I appreciate it. But if you got a problem with that, you know how to reach out to me. You know how to reach out to me. You know I'm always down for a coffee. I'm always down for a conversation. If I'm wrong, point it out. I don't know everything. I don't know everything. It's my opinion from what I've read in my Bible and the relationship that I have with my God, my Father.
Well, we do have a lot of churches in the inner city too, the most impoverished areas in the city.
Why do you think that is? Because we have the most churches in the inner city as well as Planned Parenthood. So why?
Some people might call it a money grab. I don't know. But that's just my ignorant opinion. I am not, deep in the streets like you within the Bibles and going to these churches. I do appreciate though a good preacher. I do. I will stand up.
What do you consider a good preacher? Because I think I think we're different here. Go ahead.
A good preacher is someone is like a motivational speaker, right? But also it's not about the money. It's not about the show. It's really about the congregation. It's really about your people. It's really about what your job is, to be that vessel for God. You are supposed to deliver the word, to educate.
There we go. That's what I was going to go with. I love a pastor who can educate me, like teach me something about the Bible. Stop talking about I shouldn't say stop talking. You preach how you want to preach. When I go to church, I want to learn something from you, because I don't need to go to church to hear the same stories over and over again. I can go on YouTube and watch some videos of someone that I don't have to give 10% of my money to, right? I want you to teach me something. And I used to have a pastor. There used to be a pastor. I'm going to give Northridge Church a shout out. They had a pastor a few years ago that I loved, man. This guy, him and I didn't agree with everything, but I loved him for the pure fact that he taught people. You learned something about Pharisees and Sadducees. You learned about what it was like, what life was like in Jerusalem in those days, because you have to understand what it was like back then to really understand why a woman cleaning Jesus's feet with her hair and oil, why was that so important? Why was that such a big thing in the Bible that they had a whole freaking chapter on it? Why was frankincense and myrrh a thing? Why did these three wise men, why were they three wise men? Why did they show up with gifts? These are all things that I love to learn about these stuff, because back then life was different. And we need to understand that. And the same thing with our country. Like, people don't understand the scenarios around the topics that we talk about when we talk about racism and slavery. Back then, that was Africans were doing it.
It was common practice,
right? And they had already been doing it in Israel and the Roman Empire. And the Ottoman Empire. They've been doing slavery for however long. And we're going to go ahead and tear down statues and rip down names and change holidays because you felt as if this person didn't live up to your expectations of 2022. Like, you got to know what happened back then.
Well, because everybody's super smart and dumb, right? They know, like, oh my gosh, like, they have no idea that back then they were a lot more mature and a lot smarter and understood, the whole reason and purpose for slavery. Like, and they also knew that they can get themselves out of it as well. There were people buying the freedom as well in America. I don't know about in the Middle East, because, they didn't stop that shit until 1950, 60.
And who was fighting against it?
Oh, well,
learn your history, understand that back then things were different. That's it. Yeah. And people, and I hate this.
You can't go back and change it either, people.
Well, I hate when someone brings someone who does not read the Bible, someone who does not go to church, and they always bring up some obscure verse in the Bible that says, "Oh, but you're wearing cotton fabrics that are blended cotton, so you're going against God's Bible, God's law." I'm like, shut up.
I don't even know that's all that's going to.
It's laws that were for the Israelites, for the Jewish people back in Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers days. And we're talking about before Christ, before God was even born, before he died on the cross, before all that. What people need to understand is the Old Testament is a historical view of the Jewish people. That's all it is. They're talking about how Jews became what they are today.
And into the fact that you mentioned the Jewish people, that just like within Christianity and Christians, there's a lot of Jews that got a lot of distorted beliefs as well. There's that conversation is a really, really good conversation to have. I would love to have like a rabbi one day.
We've talked. This is like the third topic we've talked about today, before camera, on camera, of when we had Clay Harris on. I think people sleep on the episode where Clay Harris came on the show. We're actually going to bring it up. There's going to be something on here. Not yet. I see him already bring it up.
I'm really fascinated about the Judaism argument, because there's so many different,
the argument that Jesus was not the savior.
Well, just within Judaism as a religion itself, there's so many different cliques within that, right? You have Hasidic. But you have some really smart, fascinating rabbis that that really speak some true knowledge. But then you also have some, just like when on a Christian side, these people are really perverted, bro. They use this as a tool, as a weapon, and they do a lot of destruction with this religion.
Jesus said to watch out for it. He said when the end days were coming, that the church was going to be distorted. The word was going to be distorted.
Well, you got drag queens now popping
gallivanting down the freaking. You got the guy walking down with a smoker coming down. You got a freaking crazy, man in underwear jumping. Dude, don't get me involved with that. Anyways, let's jump into, because we are doctors here. We're going to talk about be prepared for the uptick in the flu.
Oh shit!
Why the U.S. may see an uptick in the flu this year, and what you can do to prepare. And the sub headline: after a 2-year hiatus, health experts say the flu may be back this season. Do you think the flu was ever gone?
The flu was never gone. Flu has been around since the flu, like since people were getting sick.
Since the Spanish flu?
Since everybody's been getting sick, it's been a flu. Like,
So do you think it's going to be an uptick in the flu, or do you think it's just going
whatever
to be?
they say. It's whatever they say it is. It's whatever.
So
Whatever
it is, we're
the
just
news.
gonna go with it?
We're just gonna go with it. Like, oh, the flu season's up. Like, it's the weather. You know what I mean? It's like remember how long it took us to get out of the terrorist like zones, orange, red, blue.
Yep.
Like, it took us a while to get out of that shit. And
We're gonna get into that as well.
Here. Oh my god.
Hey, you're jumping into a lot of topics.
It's just disgusting what they do with people, man. And
Well,
just
speaking of disgusting, let's bring up the new CDC guidelines on monkeypox.
oh gosh, this thing changes every day.
Well, the CDC guidelines on monkeypox, not that one. Do you have the it was a meme that I had sent over. Did you see that? Did I send it over? Yes, that one right there. This is for safer sex and social gatherings. So to prevent or to help yourself from not getting monkeypox, you should masturbate together at a distance without touching each other and without touching any rash. So you and Austin
I'm sorry, excuse me. What?
should maintain a distance
Yeah,
when you're masturbating together,
I am very distant from Lavelle.
and make sure you're not touching each other because that's
First of
sinful.
all, well, the only men that are probably masturbating together are two homosexual men, or a man that is in the closet with a homosexual man, and they're experimenting with each other, right? I guess I don't know. That seems pretty weird altogether because
Lavelle, is
if
that
I'm
why
a
you're
beat-
ignoring my invites?
I didn't even. Hey, listen, if I'm gonna beat my meat, it's like the most private thing you're gonna ever do is like beat your meat on the low.
I don't know.
Like,
The most prideful thing you could do is do it in front of somebody and have them watch, right?
that is prideful.
That's prideful.
but that is so.
Unrelated. Check out my OnlyFans.
Yeah.
That is super. That
Subscribe
is,
today.
yo. That is very. That is. You can't get any more masculine than that. Like, do it with a friend. You know what I mean? Hey,
Have them watch.
Have
Have
'em
virtual
watch.
sex with no in-person contact.
Zoom in a beat off session.
That'll be the OnlyFans page that Austin started.
Yeah. Hashtag Austin masturbating.
Yo, they
On
made
OnlyFans.
they're really trying their best to kind of like just dehumanize everybody and just have everybody be like this fucking, I don't know, like this separate space by themselves, online, connected, either virtually. Soon it's gonna be like virtual beat up hours and shit.
Well,
Like,
no,
you're
they're
not
gonna-
even really beating it up, but you're virtually beating your meat.
Yeah. Why do you think they made the Oculus? It wasn't for gaming.
It's weird. This is really weird.
Have
bro.
you ever seen the they're doing porn in like 4D or whatever.
Yeah.
3D, so that when you put on the Oculus, you're literally watching the porn actress like doing their thing. So if you have a child out there, please look up the search history. Please stop being dumb and not thinking that they're not going to use this for some disgusting, nefarious, disturbing stuff. Because what was the third one here? I just turned you on. I gotta read that one. I just turned you on as I was driving
sorry.
with two kids in the car. I'm sorry, Christina. I'm sorry.
Sorry. It's 8 o'clock.
Consider having sex with your clothes on or covering areas where rash is present. Reducing as much skin-to-skin contact as possible. Remember that. Reducing as much skin-to-skin contact as possible. Leather or latex gear also provides a barrier to skin-to-skin contact. Just be sure to change or clean clothes, gear between partners and after use.
See, in our defense, right, Jose? Because we get in trouble
Who's
for
our?
talking
Who's our?
us, like
Okay,
the
continue. All right.
content on the show.
Yeah.
In our defense, this is on the CDC's
Yeah,
website,
this is not
bro.
us talking about.
This is like right. So
They are teaching your kids this, guaranteed.
right.
Guaranteed.
They're trying to bring it in kindergarten. So what we're talking about is just, this is light. You kind of put this in perspective. What the
I am sorry,
having
Christina.
sex
though.
with your clothes on? That's
she
dry
missed-
humping. First
She
of all,
was 20 minutes of Bible talk first, to be fair.
oh, she did.
True. So we kind of
Yo,
get a
so they
little
want you
leeway
to
there.
just hump, right?
How about, just wait and not have sex?
How do we know that this is true, bro?
Because the CDC says.
oh gosh,
But not only that, man, I can't believe we're even fucking talking about this. Remember the skin-to-skin contact, right? Let's bring up the spread of monkeypox to animals.
I'm gonna need another drink, man. This is
So this is the Daily Wire. So I gotta take the Daily Wire with a grain of salt. I love the Daily Wire. I freaking love it, and the fact that they got Jordan Peterson on now.
yeah,
Woo, man, that man is he is
yeah.
just dope. The title says CDC changes guidance after gay couple likely infected their dog with monkeypox. You gotta hear this out, because if you haven't heard about this yet, you gotta hear this part out, because in the thing right here, it says the men reported co-sleeping with their dog. They had been careful to prevent their dog from contact with other pets or humans from the onset of their own symptoms. Now, this was a couple. One is HIV positive, and they are both having sexual intercourse with other men.
All right, so
All right.
let me kind of.
I'm not even close to done with this.
Oh my gosh, keep going. This is
Not even
fucking
close to done with
ridiculous.
this. In endemic countries, only wild animals, which are rodents, primates, have been found to carry monkeypox virus. However, transmission of monkeypox virus in prairie dogs has been described in USA and in captive primates in Europe that were in contact with imported infected animals. Infection among domesticated animals, such as dogs and cats, has never been reported. To the best of our knowledge, this is a different website. This is the Lancet.com to the right here. It's not the Daily Wire. This is a different website where I was like, all right, let me look up to see if there's, a history of dogs with monkeypox, stuff like that, because I dig into stuff. To the best of our knowledge, the kinetics of symptoms onset in both patients and subsequently in their dog suggest human to dog transmission of monkeypox virus. Given the dog's skin and mucosal lesions, as well as the positive monkeypox virus PCR results from anal and oral swabs, we hypothesize a real canine disease, not a simple carriage of the virus by close contact with humans or airborne transmission. Our findings should prompt debate on the need to isolate pets from monkeypox virus positive individuals. Yeah. Remember, they took an anal and oral swab and found monkeypox through the PCR test in the dog's anal and oral swabs.
All right. I just want to kind of back up here, right, to
Go ahead.
The CDC's first, recommendations of preventing monkeypox was dry humping, masturbating away from each other, zooming, that act, whatever, those things. So how did the dog catch it?
Maybe
I
it was
think-
just hanging out like in the splash zone, Sometimes you just gotta let it go like a fire hose, you know what I'm saying?
Duck.
Bring up the NBC News article there that deals with this as well.
But then I want to know, like,
That one.
how did this happen? Like, when do you take your dog to the vet and you recognize this dog has, like, when did they see, like, oh my God, do you think he has monkeypox? I don't know.
That was old news, by the way. That the dog with the gay couple, that was old news. This is a new news. This is NBC News. Sex between men, not skin contact, is fueling monkeypox, new research suggests. The claim that skin-to-skin contact during sex between men, not intercourse itself, drives most monkeypox transmission is likely backward. So they're saying that it's not skin-to-skin contact. It's not you and Austin touching each other. It's legitimate sex, sexual intercourse that is passing monkeypox. So what do you infer about the dog at this point?
Oh, shoot. Some people like,
but
maybe the dog's job is
Here we go. Here we go. Clean up after?
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe.
Oh, that is so gross.
But if you recall the episode with Clay Harris, the podcast we had with him, I'm gonna
you're right.
I'm gonna bring it up right now because I'm telling you, people are sleeping on this.
Mhm.
First of all, people are sleeping on this podcast in general.
And you know
We're
what?
pretty amazing.
They waking up.
Absolutely, they certainly
Waking
are.
up.
Do you know which one it is?
Yeah, give me a second just to get to the time code.
Well,
Sure, go ahead.
that's crazy.
Because he called it And this
Yeah.
is not the first time we can say on this podcast, we told you so, or you heard it here first. Because the whole monkeypox issue, I also talked about a couple weeks ago and went through literally science by science by science. I spent a good, 10, 15 minutes on monkeypox that day.
Oh yeah.
Easily.
I just can't believe that we're even talking about.
It's ridiculous. But let's bring up what our guest said that evening.
Oh, hold on.
Can't hear it.
Yep. Well, sorry. 1 second. Here we go.
It's been going on for thousands of years. And if you see and you read it, why you think almost every daggone commercial is with an animal?
I want to fucking goat. I want to fucking goat.
We missed it.
Every commercial,
hold on.
though,
There we go.
reality.
A bit further before that,
now.
like 5
It's
seconds
been
before that.
going on for thousands.
And you
Then
said the
let me
wrong
just say
temp code.
one more, and then where I really want to go
Yes.
is they really setting us up right now for bestiality, because it goes on right now. It's been going on for thousands of years, and if you see and you read it, why you think almost every daggone commercial is with an animal?
I want to fucking goat. I want to fucking goat.
So
I don't even remember saying that. That's funny.
there's a lot of things we don't remember saying in our podcast, but the media will remind us.
Of course.
I guarantee if the media goes and watch, or anyone in the far
Oh
left
my
goes back and watches that
God.
podcast,
Woo.
they're gonna have a field day.
Cancel culture.
They're gonna have a field day about what Clay and we talked about.
But
So, we recommend you do that.
Why can't he say that though? And then why can't we, like, it's on MSNBC, bro? Like, they put a big whole article about the possibility of gay men banging their dogs. Like, that is disgusting. Shit is gross.
Well,
And all you women that got them men on the DL,
that was gonna be a question. Do you automatically assume that, or should a wife automatically assume, or a girlfriend automatically assume that if a man catches monkeypox, that he probably got it through that? Or do you say, give him benefit of the doubt?
the numbers don't lie, bro. Obviously, I mean, that's if it's on MSNBC, it must be true.
Right. If it's on him,
They said it, not me.
Yeah, not me.
And you know what's so crazy?
My gay friends are mad at me for bringing it up.
They shouldn't be, because
Hey,
monkeypox dropped right after Gay Pride Month. And once Gay Pride Month came out, all of
It
a sudden
jumped.
it's been monkeypox. Oh my God. You know, listen, y'all got to be careful with what the media does to y'all. Me personally, I think it's bullshit. I think it's complete bullshit. I think it's just more fear. I think it's just trying to find a way to just isolate a group, especially, you know, gay men, and trying to put them in a space to where, you know, they're being looked at and they're being marginalized and being picked on.
We went to my a gay couple's house this past weekend, close friends of mine, and we shared a drink. He was like, yeah, you know, he had tasted the drink. I'm like, oh, let me taste that too. And gives him, he's like, watch out, it might have monkeypox. And he jokes with me because he knows I talk about this stuff on the podcast. And I said, shut up. And I was like, you can't get it from freaking just.
But they have to feel some type of way.
They gotta. I'd be upset.
Yeah.
I would be really upset if they came out and said, you know, Latinos are passing monkeypox, so watch out.
Well, they could put it on black folks. Monkeypox. That'd be the most racist shit out there. Like, oh,
where he was gonna go with that.
only black people get monkeypox. Only black folks. They found a way to switch COVID. They found a way to switch COVID, put it on the inner cities. They're just trying to find a way to just, you know, put fear in whatever demographic they feel they can control. They know they have a lot of the minorities' minds under control. They know that shit. Like when COVID first came out, I just remember, just within, you know, a lot of black folks talking, they over there looking like, oh, only white folks, they come only white folks out. And then within an instant, it's, you know, black and brown folks are more susceptible to COVID. And then after that, I mean, once it hit the city, you had everybody in the hood wearing a mask. Everybody was doing it. Everybody. So this is the same thing with monkeypox, man. Like if I was a gay male, I would not be like going for this shit. Y'all should be marching for this shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
don't fucking marginalize us and say we can't. What? I gotta Zoom and have sex with my boyfriend? That's bullshit.
I gotta ejaculate from a distance.
Right. Fight for your
Yeah.
right.
Hey, I would have an issue with
This
it.
is pride. This is pride.
This is their
something
pride.
you want to be,
Yes,
be
exactly.
prideful for, man.
Exactly.
Fight for your right to freaking bust some butt. Do your thing, man.
Bust in some butt.
That's how that monkeypox spread.
Hey, that's what the CDC tells us. This is not us. We are not doctors.
If the CDC say it, right, you gonna believe it?
I'm not gonna believe it.
shit. Fuck that, y'all.
I'm not gonna believe it.
Listen, put like
I'm
this.
supporting.
If they said
I'm an
this
ally.
was transmitted heterosexually, I'll be like, get the fuck out of here.
Hey,
Give me that.
let me get that monkeypox.
Let me get that monkeypox. I like my chances.
Well, that's not the only not precursor, but I kind of like I told you so, or we saw this happening, or we called it here now. Let's bring up the other video that was on just a couple weeks ago of when I talked about Fauci, COVID last 2 years. This is what this jackass says. This is the title of the article. I didn't recommend locking anything down during COVID. How can he claim that? How can he say that? How can he dare put such a ridiculous statement out there? I didn't recommend locking anything down during COVID. That's exactly what they're going to say because it's midterms election time. They're going to come out and tell you that they didn't do it. We didn't say to do it. The president did it. We didn't say to do it. The businesses just decided to close on their own. You know, they were just doing what was right for their own employees, their own customers. I stop right there. It wasn't. So just past yesterday, actually, the county legislature met to confirm or push for the confirmation for Dr. Mendoza here locally in Monroe County. It was recommended by Adam Bello that he serve another 6 years. And six.
What the fuck?
And the county legislature, they were asking questions. You know, a bunch of people came, you know, and spoke to the county legislature saying, this is the outcomes of what he did to us. We had people on there like Alicia Cruz, who was on the episode as well, talking about how she wasn't able to get the medication that she was looking for. Her husband had to sue the hospital in order to get the medicine that she was looking for, and that was the only thing that kind of saved her. We had people on there that were talking about they work in a school system and kids' mental health and their deterioration of their skill, their interpersonal skills. Just so many people showed up and just said everything that Dr. Mendoza did during this time impacted our county to such a degree that it's I want to say irreparable, but if it were repairable, it would take a long time. And they didn't trust him and his decision making. One of the questions that a county legislator asked Dr. Mendoza was, you know, your guidance. Talk to us about your ability to give us guidance and to give schools guidance on reopening or closing. And Dr. Mendoza literally came out and said, I had no bearing on schools closing or staying closed or mask mandating. We provided the evidence and the schools themselves decided if they wanted to stay closed. The schools themselves decided if they wanted to mandate the mask. We did not tell them what they should or should not do.
Oh, this seems like election year, huh?
Well, not only that, that group is majority Republicans. Majority Republicans voted yes, unanimously.
Really?
To push Mendoza forward to get voted in for another 6 years. Wow. So I have so many people all the time that they comment, vote red, vote Republican. We need to fix New York. You can't fix New York with Democrats. You can only do it with Republicans. No.
What the fuck is that all about? Were they paying attention? Do they know who their voting block is? You know what it is? We are so disconnected with our local politics. We're so distracted with what happens on CNN and fucking, you know, and again, I have I have so many people who are staunch Trump supporters.
Yeah.
There are very, very few. I mean, a very few. And then, matter of fact, she knows who she is, and we talk a lot. She's probably one of the very few conservatives that I know that are connected locally and knows her shit. But that's very, very select few that are out there that are actually aware of their local politicians. Yo.
Right.
These people are literally like just fucking, they're governing off of CNN
Mhm.
and they're getting away with it
Mhm.
because we're just like fucking watching CNN. You know, that's it.
MSNBC.
MSNBC, exactly. But for a Republican to do that, to vote Mendoza in, what the fuck were they watching this whole time?
One of them, and look, I'm friends with a lot of county legislators. I'm friends with them, no matter if they're Republican or Democrat. I wouldn't say I'm friends with them. I'm acquaintances. I can work with anybody. It doesn't matter to me. I don't really freaking care about it. But one of them in particular that I have worked with hand in hand, he voted. He said, "I'm gonna explain my vote. I want to push him forward so that the entire legislature can vote according to their district, how they wish to see it." That is not how the radicals are doing it. The radicals are not allowing or not pushing for the entire city council, let's just say, to be able to vote for something. They stop it right then and there when it's in committee. When it's in committee, there's only about 5 people that can vote on it. And if there's 3 of them on one committee, they can stop something from being pushed through. So if there's 3 radicals on one committee, they can stop it. And it has happened a couple times where they said we're gonna table this until the main vote, and then we'll maybe vote it out of being held in committee.
Wow.
They're not playing by the same rules that some of these people out there are playing by. They want to end the conversation immediately. They don't want you to represent your district. They don't want you to represent your constituents. They want to end the conversation surrounding, let's just say, rent control. They want to end it. Rent control is the only answer. There's nothing else you can say about it. They don't want you to have input on it. So why are Republicans not fighting the same way they're fighting?
Somebody's getting paid. Somebody's getting paid to
I hate for that
Somebody's
to be
getting
the nefarious
paid, man.
thing, though.
Yeah, but you have it. I mean, it's got to be something. How fucking oblivious are you to what has happened to your constituents, to the
Right.
people that you know? You as a Republican, you know where your constituents stand when it comes to Mendoza.
Right.
You don't have to go far as fucking Twitter.
You don't even have to say my constituents think this. You can think for yourself and say, you know what? He was feckless. He did not stand up for anything. We had redlining in our city when it came to businesses shutting down because of him stating, hey, I know that the governor says that we could reopen, but this area over here seems like there's a lot of people who are getting monkeypox, COVID. We should keep it closed down. And it was literally redlined.
Yeah.
You remember that? The outline was a city redlined district. If you look back 60 years, he shut down small businesses. He shut down schools. And he sat there on camera and said, I didn't do it.
Yeah.
I didn't tell them to shut down. Their board told them to shut down. They decided to shut down.
Gaslighting.
Bro.
They're good at it. They're perfecting that shit now.
So one thing I'll give Fauci, though, bring up the article on Fauci here. One thing I will give Fauci, and I like to make sure I try and be as positive as I can. He's gonna step down in December. that's the only thing I'm gonna give him. This mother trucker decided he's gonna step down and pursue his next chapter. I'm terrified of what his next chapter is, because remember, he helped introduce AIDS.
Yeah, he can.
Do you not recall that? I hope people know what he said about AIDS and how to introduce it into the gay community.
And who do you attack again? The gay community, the black community, the same communities he did with COVID.
I think that he knows that if monkeypox is going to be bigger than what it is right now, he doesn't want to be part of it.
Well, the thing is, I could do more damage behind the scenes say whatever I want. I can make more money.
He's gonna be on some board. He's gonna be on some
Oh,
board
yeah.
making some decision.
He's gonna be right in front of Bill Gates, taking a freaking,
Allegedly.
you know.
I am gonna get into
nut bath.
I am. This is gonna get us into the daily conspiracy theory.
Yes.
Play that music. Oh, you hear that? That's sexy. So we know how this is a totally different subject, but you brought up Bill Gates. We know how Bill Gates is buying up a whole bunch of farmland, right? Why is that?
Oh, does people know about that shit? Do they
If
know
they
how much-
watch this show, I hope they know.
He is the #1 farmer in the country.
The #1 farmland owner in this country.
No, he's the I'm gonna say he's a farmer. I mean, you buy farmland, you're a farmer now, right?
Sure.
What the fuck are you doing with this land? Now you got to do something with it, right? You're not just buying it just to hold it.
So what is he doing?
Oh, I have no idea what he's doing with the
No, tell the
farmland.
people what he's doing. What is he pushing for?
Oh, he's pushing for fake food, fake meat,
Fake meat, right?
Yeah,
Meatless products for
Yeah,
vegan, going
yeah.
vegan because
And
it's
the Impossible Burger,
right.
all that shit.
because it's good for the environment.
I mean,
Because cow farts.
we're fucking computers in his mind, so we're just like Android bots.
So come to find out that when you are vegan, you tend to be vitamin B12 deficient,
Oh,
right? Vitamin B12 deficient.
and
And
that's huge for men though too.
that's used for a lot of things. Pull up the articles, please, on vitamin B12. Come to find out, because I was, I'm always trying to find, what the conspiracy, not just the conspiracy theory of the day is. I want to try and be forward thinking, and always seeing the Bill Gates thing about him, pushing for meatless products, and that's been a big topic for the past month, especially with global warming and climate change and all that stuff. I'm like, all right, so what's the next thing? Because I don't want to be focused so much on today that I don't see something coming up behind, right?
Mhm.
So this article on the left is from Very Well Health. It says, have you or a loved one experienced the signs of Alzheimer's recently? I'm going to tell you the correlation here. Number one thing is memory loss. Second thing is behavior changes. Third thing is increased agitation. And in the bottom at the purple, it says several studies have been conducted to establish the link between vitamin B12 and Alzheimer's symptoms. Some associate low B12 levels with both the symptoms of Alzheimer's and actual atrophy of the brain. Shrinkage. That's what atrophy is. Actual shrinkage of the brain. So now I'm thinking, if these are the signs of Alzheimer's, right? Memory loss, behavior changes, increased agitation. First of all, we see increased agitation everywhere nowadays, right? And it's usually from one side. It's usually the ones who were probably vegans. So their B12 is deficient, and that's probably why they're agitated. Their behavior has changed, probably because they are lack of B12. And I sense that they've forgotten a lot of things, because a lot of things that Joe Biden is doing right now is kind of what they claimed Trump was going to do. But on the right here, it says studies suggest that up to 80 to 90% of vegans and vegetarians are vitamin B12 deficient. 80 to 90% of vegans and vegetarians are vitamin B12 deficient. The disorder impacts the human body in several ways, right? From causing vitamin deficiency anemia to underpins the central nervous system. They want to get rid of us.
Yo, you know what? This eugenics thing is really something huge, man, because the Rockefeller Foundation, the Rockefeller family, they came out like way back, like, what was it? It wasn't John D. Rockefeller. It was the Rockefeller after John D. They were huge on depopulating the earth. And Bill Gates is also a descendant of that family as well. And he's
Allegedly.
right. He's big on eugenics as well. He literally did a TED Talks on,
I don't even need to click on
right. That's
He
out
is.
there. He's about depop. And he's also a huge investor. He's going to put his money behind what he believes. Like me as a real estate investor, I believe that if I invest my money and time in real estate, right? And if
Right.
I do these certain things,
Right.
I'm going to get a return from it. This is what I believe.
You don't just spend your
I
money.
just don't spend my money for no reason. So if this motherfucker is literally spending his money on farmland
Mhm.
and wants to, I don't know, produce fake fucking meat that's vegetable oriented. I mean,
Right.
well, he's just investing in Alzheimer's disease, pretty much.
That's it.
Invested in vaccinations,
Oh.
invested in COVID.
You sure did.
He's probably got money behind monkeypox.
I forgot to include an article on this too because they just came out. The scientific study was done that Alzheimer's was not chemical based. So they've been selling these pills, and you can look it up. They were selling these pills to combat Alzheimer's based on the chemical imbalance in your body. And then they just came out with a study like the past week that stated Alzheimer's is not a chemical imbalance. It can't be treated with a pill. It's just
B12.
B12.
Does Bill Gates got money in like sugar, diabetes? Like, does this motherfucker invested in everything that has to do with death, viruses? He's got money behind viruses for computers.
We know that.
Like this
Yep.
dude is
I
he
think
like
we can say viruses in general.
in general? He's
Right.
like the Dr. Doom of
Yes.
Yeah. real life.
I don't think man. People just don't believe that there are some who are just nefarious, who believe that we are just not on the same level as them.
Mm-hmm.
And they should control us because it's their duty to control us because we are not smart enough to be on their level. So therefore, they are obligated to take care of us.
Would you call them elitist?
I would term that,
Mm.
yes, elitist. Yeah, I think that's really, kind of the only word because, man,
To think
We can-
that
we
we
can
don't
get into
even
conspiracy
deserve to
theories all day.
live, bro. To think that we don't like to
we're just not
think,
smart enough to live.
Well,
We're not smart enough to make our own decisions.
to believe. Like, I've never seen in any religious text that, there's going to be a point in time where there's too many people on this planet and we have to kill people. That is completely aligned with Satanism and like demonic thinking, ideology.
Exactly, because you think that you really think that you can change the world to the point where the earth is going to destroy or get destroyed because of your actions. That's how selfish your thinking is, that you think you can destroy this earth. You don't think this earth is going to fight back and destroy you first?
Yeah. No.
You don't think that God is going to be like, no, you're not going to do that. You're not going to destroy this freaking earth that I gave you.
But they believe that they're gods, though. But Bill Gates walks and talks and believes that he's a freak. Like, he literally got away with going to Epstein Island and is like still
Right.
still got his money. His wife left him and said it's because his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein is the reason why I'm divorcing this man. She said it, though.
I didn't hear her say that.
Oh no, she said that.
I'm going to click that again.
She said that shit. Like,
But
this dude is really gangster.
But you hit on it and pull up the EPA, please. The activists who petitioned the EPA to control your heating and cooking, essentially. Activists petition EPA to restrict the use of home and commercial furnaces by 2030. We're talking about 7-8 years from now.
2030. That's a huge date. That's the World Economic Forum's cutoff date for pretty much
World destruction.
Yeah, absolutely.
They said that back in 1990 or something like that.
Well, not world destruction, like pretty much a globalized like world. Like, that's the NWO. Like,
when they're going to take that shit over and just be
absolutely
done with us.
Yeah, that's the that's the goal, the cutoff date, 2030. You will own nothing,
and you'll be happy.
You'll be happy.
Well, how do you feel about these environmentalists who state that the government should tell you that you need to convert your gas stove, your gas HVAC system, to an electric system?
A man cooking on an electric stove is a pussy. Period. Period. Like that's like
No lie, that was a big reason why I bought my house because it was gas.
yo.
I said I'm not cooking on. I'm not cooking on electric. I'm not doing
stove
it.
as
I'm
a
not doing
man.
it.
I'm not doing it. I'm
not
sorry.
doing it.
My steaks just don't come out the same.
Not doing it.
Wait, well, why are you cooking steaks on a stove? Yeah, you gotta go on.
Well, you gotta
Well, you're
have-
on a grill, but if you want a quick steak, you don't want to, you know what I mean? You gonna throw it on that
Put it in the air
skillet.
fryer. Right.
No, you
Gotcha.
you put on a
Oh.
cast iron.
Yes.
You put some freaking little bit of oil, a little bit of freaking butter in there,
Right.
some rosemary, some thyme. Oh, get out of here.
No, what you do is you marinate it in a beer, overnight, and
that-
then you put it
yeah.
on the grill the next day.
Yeah, but you're not gonna put that
I
on
hate
no
the
fucking
grill.
electric
I hate the
stove.
grill. I don't know
What?
why I hate the grill. I hate the grill.
Oh,
You don't like
grill
I
out.
grilling?
hate it. I really don't like grilling.
Jeez,
was
you making
just
fun of my
grilling the other
electric
day.
stove, but you don't like grilling.
I'm like a bougie Neanderthal. Like I don't want to be outside on the grill. It feels like so much work. Like you gotta close in and you gotta open it, check it.
Part of the job.
It's like too
man.
much work. I rather
Close it.
that's
Oh,
part of the
no.
day.
No, see,
It's way too much work.
If you got a smoker though, bro, you gotta get you a
I
smoker.
don't freaking smoker. What would I have a smoker? I don't even like
because
grilling.
because the meat is gonna come out even
Yeah.
better.
Well, you just like talking about meat.
Listen, man, meat has been the topic of discussion
this
for
is-
quite some time on this show.
Well, they're probably gonna ask the EPA to freaking regulate your meat as well.
They need to stop, yo. They just need to stop.
Well, the
fucking with
CDC
people,
is
yo.
trying to regulate your meat. They're saying you should do
Yeah.
it from a distance.
They're really trying to make us like really like just fucking pussies.
Well,
all around.
there is some fighting back. All right, so
Good.
there is some signs of fighting back. First things first, let's bring up the public school enrollees. Look at you, man. You were on it.
killing them.
I see where you're going.
Nearly 2 million fewer students have enrolled in public school. 2 million. The pandemic has changed the way children are taught, with more families opting for less traditional forms of schooling. That's not what the reason is. You think that the pandemic has changed the way children are taught, meaning it has pushed your child to be online learning, so they chose to homeschool their child, and
It's the system.
how angry were you like every day trying to help your kid do homework? Because I
Yeah.
was pulling my freaking little bit of hair out that I had left. I'm like, dude, come on, man. Like we gotta be smarter than this.
Yeah, it's the public schools is failing our kids, man.
Well, we see what they're doing, what they're indoctrinating. I don't care what
Yeah.
anyone says. They are indoctrinating them. Pull up the Wisconsin and Texas public schools here. For the two schools that might actually have an increase, we've got Wisconsin here. Public school district affirms ban on teachers displaying pride materials or identifying their pronouns and emails. Fuck. Yes. That's how we fight back right there. That's how we fight back right there.
And you got teachers putting up pride flags in their room.
Right. No, take that
shit
out.
Don't make
because
no sense.
they won't allow them to put a blue line flag there. So why?
They
can't
got
put a blue
lot,
line flag?
bro. They got a lot of money on this eugenics thing, man. Because if you have gay kids really growing up, not even thinking about procreating, not even creating life, like just the thought of creating life is being pushed to the back burner.
The most beautiful
man.
thing in the world.
Yeah.
The greatest gift that a woman has is to be able to procreate life. It is a gift. It is a beautiful gift. It is the greatest superhero freaking power that a woman has. I don't care what anyone says about, oh, I can do accounting just as good. No, you can't.
I don't want to.
You can procreate a body inside of you.
I don't want to, tick Austin off when I say this, but I think this is like a legit, like undercover holy war, bro.
Oh, you're gonna get him.
And I'm saying, and
You can
I'll,
believe whatever you want. It's fine.
I'm gonna say that. I'll say
you
it's a
triggered?
holy. I say it's a holy war because
is.
again, like everything that we are arguing, bro, you can kind of go back to the Bible, and the Bible is kind of like protecting you from the shit that they're doing.
Yeah. Why? It look, I don't. The thing is, I don't even care if you display pride materials. I don't care if you put pronouns in your emails. I don't really care. The problem is, yeah, I actually do care. I'm not gonna lie. I do care about that.
It goes against
about
everything
that.
that the Bible states. Like your job as a human is to procreate. Like animals don't get this shit fucked up.
Not at all. You know if a goat is a male or female.
Right.
You know it.
Now, I did see a video where they were deliberately making gay frogs from, putting them in like some sort of drug or solution that they were swimming in their water and drinking it. Frogs were becoming homosexual. Yeah, there's a legit study of just turning frogs homosexual. What if that shit is going? What if all of these new vaccines that we're putting our kids, that we're putting in our kids, what if they're like really injecting our kids with the same shit they're injecting these frogs in this study and turning these bunch of these kids gay?
You trying to get in trouble tonight?
I'm not trying. I'm just, and we can find that video. I'll find that doctor and we bring it back on the next show. But that's a legit study. So we don't know what's going on in our kids. We don't know what we're putting in our kids. These kids today got so many different vaccinations that they got to put in their body. And then on top of that, right? Because again, Bill Gates, he invests in a whole lot of shit that goes in our kids. Polio vaccines, right? He's been fucking up our kids.
Gmail.
Right.
I don't think people realize how bad it was that we just let our kids have Gmail accounts.
Oh, all of our kids got Gmail accounts, right?
All of them.
Yeah.
We just gave their information over for the rest of their lives.
Yeah. And the pandemic made it even more important for them to have a Gmail account.
Oh no, that's it. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You have to have a Gmail account in order to do online schooling, which means that Google owns your information, owns it, owns your kid. They used to own you from the age of 18 on. Now it's from the age of 5 on. They know everything about you, everything, not just what you put out there on social media.
Chromebooks.
They know what you do in the dark. They know what you do when no one else is looking. They know more about you than your parents know about you.
Yeah. Well, our city sold us out. City of Rochester sold us out.
Absolutely. But you say something like that, and people look at you like you're a crazy conspiracy theorist who freaking loves Trump.
How did this city afford all of the Chromebooks they gave all of our kids in the city school district?
Sold out.
And we're able to get a replacement like it was nothing. And Chromebooks cost like what, $200 a pop? $250 maybe? And how many kids are in the city school district?
And if they mess it up or break it, they just replace it.
Yeah. So it's like maybe
charge anything.
$5 million invested in Chromebooks in the city of Rochester. We got that type of money.
Well, we got $1 billion for the Rochester City School District.
Where does it come from?
The state.
The state. So where does the money come from? The state is in the red too. So where's the state getting this money from?
It's a government write-off, right? That's all that matters. It's a write-off.
So they're borrowing it, right, from somewhere. Somewhere they're getting this money from.
And they have to do something in order to get it.
Now, we can go back and see how much money Bill Gates has invested into the politicians in this area. Not this area, and also the state.
Just look at the Attorney General.
Federal government.
Look at all the judges who are running. Look at where they're getting money from.
They say follow the money, right?
Public defenders, all that. Well, a positive that some people will see is Biden canceling $10,000 worth of student debt.
Oh boy.
What are your thoughts on this?
There's no such thing as a free lunch.
Right.
That's all I'm gonna say.
True.
I mean, it's around it's the election time. They're running out of fucking, like, I don't know.
Well,
how else can they connect to their constituents?
Biden announces $10,000 in student loan debt will be canceled for borrowers making under $125,000. So $10,000. That's not what people were pushing for, though. And by people, I mean people of color. Bring up the next articles there. This is the NAACP president, Derek Johnson.
Fuck this dickhead.
We are fed up, Johnson wrote in an op-ed for CNN. The NAACP has been calling for a minimum of $50,000 in student loan debt cancellation because our research indicates it is what is necessary to make a meaningful difference. The goal should be to see the most amount of relief for the highest number of borrowers. It's been a consistent criticism from Johnson, who said in May that canceling $10,000, which is I'm going to give President Joe Biden this. He did not promise $50,000. I think he did promise that he was going to cancel student loan debt for a significant amount. But I know he said $10,000 like later on. Canceling $10,000 in student loan debt is like pouring a bucket of ice water on a forest fire. After the last extension of the pause on student loan payment collections in April, Johnson issued a statement saying, President Biden, this is a racial justice issue. It is an economic justice issue. It is a moral issue. Canceling $50,000 is the single best way you can drastically reduce the racial wealth gap, all with the stroke of a pen. Do you think
fucking retard? Yo, the National African American Communist Party. You might as well just say that. That's what their name
Yeah,
is.
because do you think that canceling $50,000 is the single best way you can drastically reduce the racial wealth gap? How do you feel about that?
Jose,
This is your group. These are people who are
these motherfuckers are just
This is your group.
disgusting. They're stupid. They are so ignorant. They have no type of economic awareness. They don't know how this shit works. They just don't know. They really do believe that, all right, I'm totally against reparations. Why? Because no matter what you think you're going to get, you're still going to pay for it. Right?
That's not why I'm against it.
Well, I'm against it because I don't think that, first of all, you can legitly go through and see who deserves what.
How are you going to do that?
How are you going to
tell me that because I look like somebody who went through something, I deserve what they deserved, and we're going to charge someone else that looks like the type of person that did that back in the day.
Daniel's not here today.
But also at the same time,
pointing at the seat.
They're so unaware that a good majority of African Americans back in the day didn't want a fucking handout.
Now
They
that
didn't
some
want-
of them owned slaves.
They owned their own shit. They didn't want to go on welfare. They didn't want the shit from the government because they knew the government. They didn't want to trust the government to begin with.
So what happened? What happened to where we trust the government?
When you have people that get indoctrinated by socialism, when they start reading Karl Marx, when they start following W.E.B. Du Bois,
That's your
this
boy.
motherfucker right here is
Mhm.
that same type to think that with a stroke of a pen, oh my God, I don't have student debt anymore. First of all, the majority of these fucking student loans is $100 a month.
And on top of that, I'm sure they're going to charge that $10,000 against your income.
And whose fucking fault was it to go to school and not get a degree that's going to supplement your decision to begin with? That's on you.
The thing I am upset about, though, on the flip side of it, is the fact that if I wanted to go to school and I needed $120,000, so $30,000 per semester, I just signed a dotted line and I get $120,000 loan. If I wanted to buy a 2-unit house, a side-by-side for $120,000, what do I need to go through in order to get that?
Oh, you have to get qualified. You got to go through that.
You're
You
gonna
have to
you're
Right.
gonna give up your firstborn child and a blood sample.
right. But
But $120,000 in student loan debt, where you get a piece of paper.
who's gonna get paid? The fucking investors. They're the ones that's getting the money. They're the ones that's getting paid.
Well, it's government-backed loans. That's what
Yes.
it is. They backed the loans of these school loans to these schools in order for these schools to indoctrinate our teenage kids with Marxist mentalities. I'm just gonna call it out.
Yep.
I'll put that there, but I know what it is.
This dude is ignorant. He's ignorant. There's been, ever since the NAACP was created, they have been pretty much just the worst thing that could happen to African Americans, and just their inability to kind of create any type of ideology that empowers the group, that empowers people, that makes them believe they can do anything outside of the government. They still made them feel as though the government was their answers to their problems. And this is a prime example.
But they can't put themselves out of a job, though. At the same time, you understand that? Like they can't put themselves out. This NAACP president can't put himself out of a job.
But what is this whole fucking purpose? What is the purpose of the NAACP, period?
What is it?
I don't fucking know. What have they
We'll look
ever
it up.
done? What has
Look
the
it up.
NAACP ever, like, they have like they have awards every year,
What is the purpose of the NAACP?
raise awareness against African American issues. Like the fuck, we got.
Created to work for the abolition of segregation, and
It sounds very.
that was immediately. They're working against that. For the abolition of segregation, which we know they're segregating themselves right now,
Mhm.
and discrimination in housing, education, employment, voting, and transportation to oppose racism and to ensure African Americans their constitutional rights.
Sounds like a communist party. Sounds like the same doctrines that has been
Marxism?
Marxism,
Who was a racist?
and also W.E.B. Du Bois was the founder of the NAACP. And I might add, before the NAACP was even fucking created, there was an African American council that actually was ran by black folks and not founded by white Jewish men. So if you are an African American and you want to charge me up and say whatever you want to say, because I'm talking shit about the fucking worst organization that has ever been created for black folks, do some fucking research.
Worse than
And-
Planned Parenthood?
Oh, how much money does the NAACP probably donate to
Oh, geez, I
Planned
know, right?
Parenthood?
Oh my God.
I'm pretty sure there's some. I'm pretty sure to give them some money. The National African American Communist Party. That is, and also W.E.B. Du Bois was a communist. He fled the United States to become a member of the Communist Party. He wanted to be a part of the Communist Party. He used to argue for communism. And just the name, just the NAACP, it seems very, it's like a communist party in disguise.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
It's with a better mask.
National African American Communist Party. I don't even know what does the CP stands for. I don't even know what the fucking CP stands for.
You
It's
know,
the National Association
civil-
for the Advancement of
Colored people. Oh,
Colored
for the
people,
advancement. Okay. For the
Yeah, I had no
advancement of Communist Party. That's what it is.
All right. We have one article left, and this will be the first time the podcast has ever gone through every single article.
What?
First time ever, which Austin will be appreciative of. IRS agents, armed IRS agents.
Armed IRS agents.
Yes. You saw the $80 billion plus that was used to hire how many? 87,000 IRS agents. When this was brought up, President Biden promised with his own words that they would not target any families making under $400,000 a year.
Mhm.
Right? This was an amendment to that specific bill for the IRS agents, right? It stated the statement of purpose right there to prevent the use of additional internal revenue service funds from being used for audits of taxpayers with taxable incomes below $400,000 in order to protect low and middle income earning American taxpayers from an onslaught of audits from an army of new internal revenue service auditors funded by an unprecedented nearly $80 billion with a B dollars infusion of new funds. This amendment clearly stated exactly what the president stated. The president said that these armed IRS agents were not going to target American families making under $400,000. He stated that. He promised that. This amendment put it in writing. Look at the vote count. 50 yes, 50 no. That means it doesn't pass because there's one person who breaks the tiebreaker. Can anyone guess who that person is?
Oh, that's Kamala.
That's Vice President Kamala
That's
Harris.
Kamala.
Yes.
She's gonna break that shit.
Right.
Great.
So why did they vote this down? And I highlighted that the New York representatives, Chuck Schumer and Kirsten Gillibrand, voted against this. So they voted against what the president promised to United States citizens with their tax money that they were going to hire $80 billion worth of armed IRS agents. Why did they vote against the amendment that says, all right, this is what you promised. We're going to put it in writing. What you promised, we're going to put it in writing. That way you have to abide by it so that the average American, because you said that these armed IRS agents were going to go after these millionaires and billionaires have been skimping out on their tax payments or their tax bills, or they've been hiding money, you know, in the Cayman Islands and stuff like that. They're just they're playing games with their money, hiding it from the government. That's who these armed IRS agents are going to go after. No one under $400,000, no family earning less than $400,000 is going to be audited or targeted. They put it in writing, and the people that we voted into office said, "Yeah, nah, we're not gonna support that promise that the president made." New York State representatives, both Democrats, of course, obviously, voted against it.
Gillibrand and Schumer.
So explain to me their mentality behind this. I want to know why they voted against this in particular. Because again, the president promised it. He said, give me the money so that I can hire these agents to go after the millionaires and billionaires. That's what Democrats are all about, right? Going after the millionaires and billionaires who are not paying their fair share of taxes. Why vote against it?
And you see Republicans actually supporting. They're trying to give them a bone. That's, to me, that's like, this should be the most bipartisan thing that they ever had as a fucking.
If you truly cared about the low to moderate income earners.
Yeah.
I think 400,000, well, it depends on the state. But in New York State, in Western New York, $400,000 is a good amount of money for a family of 10 living in Rochester.
Yeah, I think this is scary still all around, because I don't know if everybody could go back to the Great New Deal. Not poor people didn't have gold when FDR is like, yeah, I'm gonna come up off of that gold. I'm about to come and take y'all shit. This is kind of like the same thing.
Yeah.
And this is like what the World Economic Forum was talking about. You will own nothing. This is right here. This is kind of leading to that.
They're coming after you.
They're coming after. And if they find a way to pass a bill to where it's not just the wealthy that they're coming after. They're coming after every fucking body.
Everybody.
You will own nothing. And the way these motherfuckers, you know who's on the take right here.
They will beat you into
all
submission.
These nays, all those nays, these people right here, they're voting to protect themselves. They think that they're gonna be, you know, when it comes down.
They are not subject to IRS audit.
Oh, no. That's what I'm saying. They believe that. That's what they think. They're gonna be fine. And when we just get, you know, pretty much dicked by the global elites, when they come over and just control this country and fucking just throw everybody in the prisons who just don't align with these motherfuckers, they think they're going to be saved. But you know what happens when communism and, you know, socialism, they're going to be the first ones to go. They're going to be right there with us. They think they're protected, but no, they're going down too.
You know how much Schumer makes?
Oh, Chucky Boy.
Income.
Chucky Boy makes some bread.
No. In actual income. How much does Chuck Schumer make? All right. So salary of Chuck Schumer, where'd it go? Salary is $160,000.
And his net worth is
$69 million.
He did say that he was the gatekeeper of the Zionist Jew. So
I'm sorry. Why does it say his monthly income is $400,000 when his salary is $160,000? Why would that push him right above the?
He is the gatekeeper of the Zionist Jew.
So you know who he's I don't understand how you go from $160,000 to being worth $69 million without
being a good boy, by doing what you're supposed to do, by making sure that you keep that streamline of American money over to the state of Israel. You make sure that money keeps flowing. You make sure that everybody that's within, you know, that group gets paid. Those the Zionist elite, because they are AIPAC,
allegedly.
That pack, which I'm pretty sure Mr. Chucky Boy is a huge supporter of. That's how he's making that money. He's doing his job. He doesn't work for us.
No.
He definitely doesn't work for us.
I've met him in person. I don't want to say anyone's weird, but he's strange.
Very disconnected.
He's very strange.
And if there's any way,
he's so old.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. Like, what?
I'm
not for ageism.
Opponent The guy who's running against him. What's his name? The black dude.
No idea.
He has no chance in hell of winning.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Whoever's going against him, I'm voting for that person.
Yeah, but I
Immediately.
I pray to God that he wins. I pray to God that he wins. That will be bigger than
Donald
shit.
Trump?
Yeah. To the left, for the left, right?
Yeah.
I would literally be partying pop locks
To the break of dawn?
locking on Main and State.
Do you
if
know how to
Chucky
pop
Boy
lock and
loses.
drop it?
Oh, I don't know about dropping, but I can pop lock it. I can pop lock it, but
Let's go through the comments here. So I know we missed a lot because I just saw like 41 comments there. Investigate this, Jose. How did
Yeah.
he get to front? Yeah, seriously. I don't understand. I don't understand how he got to $69 million worth.
Look at
as
his
well.
investments. You know,
How did he get the information? How is he voting for stuff when he is also purchasing not just the stock, but the stock options? That's what people don't understand. Most Americans don't understand stock options. Anyone can buy the stock. Well, I think it's going to go up because the government's going to increase spending on this, blah, blah. No. Stock options.
and he lives in New York too, so I mean, you can't be
Right.
shit.
And we can go all the way back.
You
Oh my
can-
goodness.
I mean,
I'm not paying it. I'm not paying my taxes and moving to Mexico. Let's go. Brandon thinks he's not going to pay his taxes. I think that's what Rihanna and Shakira thought they're going to do as well.
what did they say about NAACP? Text me a few times to encourage COVID vaccines. Of course they
Why-
did.
Wait, hold on. Why did they text Jen Ardone? Jen, we're going to have you we're going to bring her on.
Yeah, Jen.
Jen, let me know when you're free. Let's have Jen on and let's go, Brandon, because you guys have been here from the beginning. We're going to have you on. Grilling is the best, Jose. I just disagree. I think it's the worst.
Poor guy.
John McAfee. Oh, I know John McAfee. You know John McAfee?
Yes.
Ex-girlfriend just
they
came out
said-
saying he faked his death and is hiding out in Texas.
Yeah, yo. They even think Michael Jackson faked his death too.
Yeah, they said that about Prince and
Well, I don't know about
Tupac
Prince.
and-
But I saw some footage of like this.
Who's late? Who's a damn I'm late?
But Michael Jackson, bro. I saw
Jen Ardone? Oh, she's late. But let's go. Brandon said, make sure you watch it from the beginning. I met a dude named I'm not gonna say that. They were weakening this- I saw Adam Bella the other day and he had something sticking out of his pants
Oh
pocket.
my god. Did he?
I'm gonna say something, hanging out in a splash zone. Yeah, that was actually pretty funny.
That was funny.
pretty funny. Good job.
Austin came through with that.
You
But
know, and oil.
I would be. I'm very interested to see how Chucky Boy makes his money.
Tamara, no, I do not practice sex that way.
Oh, with the Zoom beat the meat way.
Yeah, and from a distance.
Yo, they
Austin masturbate. Hashtag. Let's make hashtag Austin masturbates an actual thing.
Yes, yo.
The
Funding.
first part of the
Yo,
show.
he got up so quick. Did you hear how quick he got up?
The first
That's
part of
why
the
it's
show was
trending.
about beating the meat.
Virtual sex, yes. All of that crazy shit, man.
Remember the NSYNC song? I'm tired of using technology.
Oh gosh,
No one does. I'm the only
that
one.
was Justin Timberlake.
Maybe.
Ew, I'm tired of using technology.
She
That's
sit
what that
down on
song-
top of me. Hey, yo.
She won't. That was with 50
Ooh,
Cent.
she got
That was
yeah.
50 Cent song.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
50 Cent song, not Justin Timberlake.
My bad. See, that's how we got it
He
wrong.
was just on the hook. But yeah, man,
Well, I want to
good show.
I want to say to everybody out there, you're welcome for how amazing this podcast is because we talk about some stuff that I really honestly, this is seriously how I try to be a city councilman. I want to be the person that I
They
would
fucking hate
listen-
you.
oh,
They
man.
gotta hate your guts. Oh
Bro.
my god. Oh, he's so. Oh my gosh. Here we go.
you have no idea
you
what
see-
happens.
Here we go, Jose.
Because you start with 20 minutes of Bible talk and end with hashtag Austin masturbates.
maybe that's it. You have no idea what
While
happens
sipping whiskey.
behind the scenes.
While sipping some bourbon.
Right. You have no idea what happens behind the scenes. You have no idea what the text messages look like. You have no idea
Ooh.
what the meetings that I have to sit through
Mm.
are like. I've gotten freaking yelled at.
Wow.
Oh, dude, you have no idea. And
For just speaking your mind, though, huh?
for just having an opinion,
Oh,
especially one. Oh man, I'm not gonna get into it.
well,
Bring it into
they are very, and I'm talking about the elites, the global elites.
Mhm.
They are very open about, people's minds being hacked. And
Well, we do have Elon Musk that wants to connect your brain to the computer.
I think he's a wolf in sheep's clothing.
I
too.
think he is as well.
You
I
gotta
think,
be careful
look,
of that.
and I'm going to say this about Donald Trump as well. I don't want him to run.
I don't
want him to run.
Yes.
I don't want him to run. I do not want him to run.
No,
I'm
it's
saying
not a
this
good
right
thing.
now. I don't care what anyone says.
It's not a good thing.
I don't think he should run.
There's so many young, like,
I think he should be
conservatives
behind
out
the
there that could
scenes.
do it.
Pushing for people because there's a
Yeah.
lot. He's 92% successful on
Yeah.
pushing America First
Yeah.
Republicans.
And he's fucking up on that whole vaccination argument too.
He is.
Oh,
He is.
he keeps pushing it like he actually did. No, it's a great thing. No, the vaccinations did absolutely nothing for COVID, bro. Stop.
Yeah,
it.
but I think that's. I'm not gonna give him any excuses. But if I were him and I were getting yelled at by the liberal media, I'd be touting the fact that I made the freaking. I made it. It was under me. That's my vaccine.
But it didn't work.
Doesn't matter.
None of that shit worked.
Doesn't matter.
Nothing worked.
The
Everything that
Tesla
they
truck
did-
didn't work,
No.
and it was still sold out. It doesn't matter if it works. It matters in how you present it and market it.
Here's what I'll give Trump his props in.
Uh-oh.
When he like separates from COVID and he just talks about just basic economic stuff and like just the when he totes, you know, some of his policies that
Mhm.
he did. The one human trafficking bill that he created that no one fucking talks about at all.
And NAFTA?
Yes, like he really put himself out there
Yeah.
and was talking about this thing, and despite whatever connection he had with Epstein,
The only president to do such a thing.
the only one. And you have footage of him saying, like, yo, this dude, nah, this not, he be messing around with young girls.
Right.
That's not my taste.
Right.
Not one celebrity is caught on camera even dismissing or distancing themselves from
Nope.
Epstein. So I give him his props there. The whole COVID handling thing,
Mhm.
I think that he had to go along with it. He's still going along with it. But just my reasons for him not wanting him to run, it's just I think he's too polarizing. And people are just they're too ignorant.
He's not what we need.
No, and I think he's too ignorant. Not him. The other side and other
Mhm.
people are just too ignorant to kind of go back and see a lot of his rhetoric and see that it wasn't racist. He wasn't racist.
Yeah, they're not going to get over that.
They're not going to get over
No.
that. No.
They're not going to look into anything. They're not
No.
going to research anything. They're not going to look into did this actually happen or not.
Yeah.
So Republicans, y'all need to do a little bit more work
Yep.
in deciding who you're going to put forth, because I need somebody that I can vote for.
Yeah, for real. Y'all can do
Because,
better. Y'all
look,
can do better than Trump.
I'm not voting for Biden. I'm going to say
No.
that immediately.
No.
There's nobody in the world who will ever say that I will ever or have ever voted for Biden.
No.
I'm not doing it. The guy is a racist to the core.
Oh, fuck.
To the core, the man is a racist. He's disgusting. He's a child
Yes.
molester, child trafficker,
Love
child
sniffing
freaking sniffers,
kids.
child
Yes.
freaking toucher. He is
Yes.
disgusting human being.
Yeah.
Everything about him is disgusting, and he has ruined America. Ruined America. I'm pissed off at the fact that I have to see this guy's face every day. I hate him. I hate him, dude. I hate him. I'm sorry.
How many
He's
times
God's child, but I hate him.
he done shook somebody's hand and just left his hand?
Where's my handshake?
Whoever runs that party, whoever runs the Democratic Party, whatever dictator that they have that's, writing those checks, they are doing a good job with just completely just gaslighting
I'm
anybody with a brain.
going to call it now. This is exactly what's going to happen. Again, this is probably going to be another one where we're going to come back to, after I'm going to say after January, this is what's going to happen. They're going to allow the Republicans to take control. They're not going to, change votes, or they're not going to hide votes. They're not going to do anything that anyone claims that they did during the 2020 election. They're not going to do it. They're going to allow the Republicans to take control. This economy in this country has been hanging by a freaking wire. The straw that breaks the camel's back will be the Republicans getting to power, and then the Democrats say, go ahead,
Yeah.
economy, implode.
That makes sense.
They're going to allow the economy to implode under Republican rule because they're going to take over House and Senate so that it gives them a better chance of winning the presidency in 2024. That's what's going to happen. We will implode. We will get into a depression. The recession is not even close to being done with. Not even close. Not even close. I will bet everything on this.
Well,
The housing market hasn't imploded. Our food supply has not been as bad as it has been before. What else? Wars haven't been started to where we have to actually get involved. We're just paying for it at this point.
Oh yeah, we just gave Ukraine some more bread.
Another $3 billion.
Yes. We just gave Ukraine some more.
What do you think is going to happen? Your taxes are going to go. They have to go up with this Green New Deal that they're pushing forward, the Inflation Reduction Act. Your taxes have to go up. Your utility bills will go up. It will suck to live in America for the next 2 years. You will be priced out of existence. Guaranteed, the middle income earners will be priced out of existence. You will become a low income earner.
Yeah. Well, they were stating, and again, the Trump supporters might get pissed off, but the inflation was going up under Trump's presidency as well. It was going up. He wasn't really, the GDP wasn't really going up that high either. It wasn't that much.
We weren't producing. He said he was going to save our jobs.
Yeah. We weren't.
He wasn't really
producing-
saving our jobs.
No, there wasn't really nothing that he did. But I know he understands, though.
Yeah.
At least give me somebody that fucking understands.
And that's what bothers me when people talked about the Trump clothing line, like, oh, it's made in Bangladesh. Like I have a Trump tie. I've had it for years. It's a red, white, and blue tie. I love this tie. It is my favorite tie, not because it's a Trump tie, because it's my freaking American kicking ass tie. I've worn it for years before Trump was president. But now, whenever anyone says, oh, that's a nice tie, I'm like, oh, thank you very much. And I flip it over and it says Trump, and it's usually a Democrat that says it. I'm like, oh, thank you very much. And they see it like, their eyes like, oh my God, how dare you?
Triggered. They're so triggered with Trump.
Right.
They're just so ignorant.
But the fact that he sourced clothing from another country, and then he was able to limit the amount of taxes that he paid, income taxes that he paid, he knows what it takes to do exactly that. He knows what a businessman thinks. He knows that if I want to decrease the amount of costs and increase the amount of profit, I'm going to take this business to this country. I'm going to outsource it to here. I'm going to import it to America. I'm going to put it under this, LLC. He knows all that stuff. He didn't change the tax laws, though. He didn't make it harder for these billionaires to hide any of their money. He is not this golden calf that the people thinks that he is. He just isn't. And I'm never going to put my trust and faith in one side, because we just saw that when we went over the Monroe County Monroe County legislators who were majority Republicans who still push forward Dr. Mendoza. Mm-hmm. It's not one side versus the other. It's not red versus blue. They just genuinely don't care about you.
Hold these fuckers accountable, man, and take your emotions out of it.
That's it.
That's it. That's how they're going to continue.
And a lot of people still have their emotions into Trump. They still have their 2024 flags flying already. Please don't do it.
No.
Push DeSantis, please.
They knew how to kind of control folks by getting them emotionally involved and kind of separating, the right and the left. I don't think it was this polarizing before Bill Clinton. I don't think so.
No, not at all. It started under Obama.
No, it started under Clinton, because when Clinton was getting his freaking meat licked by
PP suck, not from a distance.
The Republicans hated Bill Clinton because of that. They wanted him gone. And Bart Starr did a good job of,
I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Right, but he did a really good job of kind of, rallying that base.
Mm-hmm.
And then that set up for the Republican Party for George Bush. And we all know we got underneath GW, a fucking endless war in
not
Iraq.
Only that, they had the
9/11.
They had a Supreme Court decide who won presidency.
Yeah, he's
Remember
I mean,
that? Doesn't no one
yeah.
else remember that?
And that
That's
but that
crazy.
also that right there that separated both sides even more because you felt you had the left like, oh, he cheated. They cheated Al Gore. They cheated the internet guy. They cheated global warming guy. Oh my God, this is our guy. And it's the same arguments that was pretty much started from then all the way up now. Every single president we had ever since then has been a polarizing figure,
Mhm.
and each side had like they either hate him or they love him.
Was that by design?
Yes,
was that
of
human
course it's by
nature?
it. No, that's design.
That's design.
That's absolutely design. That's
All right. So you think
absolutely
that this is
design.
all planned out?
Absolutely, absolutely, because these politicians aren't the ones making decisions. It's the people that's motherfucking paying their asses and also setting up the agenda so that they can get paid globally and nationally, so they can continue to make their money, continue to control everybody, continue to distract everybody, continue to make that money through their investments through CNN, MSNBC, through the food, General Mills, everything, electronics, everything we fucking do. The 1% that we always talk about on one side, right? That 1%. But these motherfuckers aren't talking about that 1%.
No.
They're talking about the 1% that they
that
live with.
agrees with them.
Yeah, right. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with these people, man?
It's the enemy of my enemy.
Oh,
That's it. That's it.
I wish that, like, yo, my enemy of my enemy is my friend. Like, yo, then that means Democrats and Republicans who are going to these fucking polls need to really align with each other and see who the fuck they should be supporting, who they shouldn't be supporting.
They're not going to.
No.
They're not going to. I was sitting here trying to find this billionaire who
Nicki
actually...
Minaj, that's my boo, though.
It's going to get a lot worse. It's going to get a lot worse.
It is.
Please, if you can, and I'm down with anyone out there who wants to go in on buying like half a cow, buy it.
Yeah.
Buying a pig, buy it. Buy a chest freezer and store up shit now. I'm telling you, I promise you, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be fun. The Bible prophesies this. It's coming. It's coming. We know it's coming.
I'm definitely going
We
to
know it's
invest
coming.
in get me some yard pimps. Chickens.
Yard pimps.
Yeah. I started following this Louisiana cook, and he calls the chickens yard pimps.
What's he?
I forgot his name, man, but I got.
Does he wear overalls and no
Yeah,
t-shirt?
yeah. And he has like the blonde hair, and he calls them yard pimps.
Does he have a big old boy? He does a big old.
Yeah, he got,
okay.
yeah, that's
I know
that
what you're
dude
talking about.
right there. I might have give me some yard pimps. And start
Look,
cooking.
Anyone who lives in the bayou, man, those are the guys that freaking hook up with.
They
man.
eating
They
real
know
good.
what they're doing.
They know they will
They'll
survive.
figure it out.
Yo, you know what? The Weeknd will survive here though. We got a lot of.
We have fresh water.
We got.
We have fresh water. That's the number one thing.
Right
I
now
know
we do.
everybody is leaving New York. I'm terrified. I'm terrified to leave New York. We have fresh water.
We got salmon.
rest of the
salmon
world-
run.
We got the sand, dude.
We got everything here. We got deer.
We have good land, good fertile land. We have, we have buffalo. We have deer. We
We
have.
got everything, man.
You can
We
go
got
into the mountains.
raccoons,
We got bears,
squirrels. Like we can eat real good if we want
fox,
to.
coyotes.
I'm not eating those though. I don't think I can eat that.
I don't care. I eat whatever.
But squirrels, yo, motherfuckers eating squirrels down in the bayou. If you gotta eat, yo, we got a lot of squirrels in this motherfucker.
There's a new diet called the lion diet. Lion diet.
Fucking eat lion though.
The lion diet. All right. So what it is we always go over our time. I'm sorry.
You started. You close it out.
We will close it out. Look up the lion diet. It is about what is it? Ruminant animals. You don't have to look it up. The people watching,
the
look it up.
podcasters.
But I suggest not going with the meatless. I suggest not going with the fake meat because I don't personally trust it, and I don't care how much a cow farts. I don't believe that that's that impactful to destroying our earth. I just don't believe it. I'm sorry. I'm not a scientist. I'm just some ignorant idiot that lives in Rochester, New York, that doesn't have cows living around him, I guess. But my suggestion: keep stocking up. I'm not a what's it called, a prepper,
Doomsday
doomsday prepper.
Mhm.
but stock up. I stock up and stock up on ammo. I don't care what anyone says. We got 87,000 IRS agents who are legally hired to carry a gun. An accountant. They're accountants who need to carry guns. It's for a reason.
Coming for that money.
It's for a reason. They're coming after you,
Everything.
and they're not coming after the millionaires and billionaires. Don't care what anyone will say. They're coming after you. You.
We should look into what happened when the Great New Deal went down. When they started to confiscate
society?
everybody's gold.
Yeah.
What happened?
How did they confiscate someone's gold, their private property?
it was the economy. They
Right.
blamed it on the economy.
Right.
They blamed like it was
But
so
they went
bad.
door to door. Look it up. We're gonna look it
Yeah.
up. We're gonna talk about it in the next podcast
Yeah.
because I really want to discuss about how the government in the past has literally
For-
came to your door and said,
Yeah.
"No, no, no,
It's
no.
how Fort Knox was
That's
built.
mine."
It's how Fort Knox became plentiful.
Well,
And then guess what? They sold a bunch of gold to the UK.
oh, they also used it to bribe.
Mm-hmm. Which they said, which I do believe the value of gold plummeted.
Allegedly.
And then the next, like once it went down,
Mhm.
the value of gold increased,
Skyrocketed.
skyrocketed.
It's been stagnant for a long time.
Mm-hmm. China and Russia's been buying a lot of gold though, just
I
so you
bet.
know.
And land.
But that's a topic for another time, Jose, because we went over our time, right?
You
Like
know who
said?
else has a lot of gold? Kanye West. And if you get a hold of him, let him know I'm still trying to get a hold of him so his punk ass could be on here. Now that he's done fighting Pete Davidson, maybe he'll have a chance to come on our podcast. And John Leguizamo, I'm with you about that punk white boy playing freaking Fidel Castro.
Yeah.
I'm with him.
Yeah.
I'm not about that. I'm not about that life.
What was his name again? He
He knows. Austin knows. He's Green
James
Goblin,
Franco.
Pop culture.
James
Yeah,
Franco,
see?
the sexual predator.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
he
People
likes,
forget about that as well.
Mhm.
Hey.
Well, he's probably perfect for Fidel Castro. Perfect for that role.
Austin. We love you. We appreciate everybody out there that watches. Please share with all your friends and family because we have grown so incrementally fast in the past couple months. I wonder why.
Stock up on ammo, like Jose
look,
said. This
Stock
is
up
a
on
sh-
ammo.
this
Look
is a
at him. He's
shotgun
starting one by
shell.
one right there.
Bang.
Austin, hit that funky music.